ladies, and welcome back to Krown's magical chicken tenders cave.
Well, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. Welcome to June. It is June 1st. We are in the motherfucking future right now if you're over there on the west coast of this western hemisphere. But I am right now waking up at the ripe old hour, a little bit later than what I should be because I am tired as all hell. With that said, we have a lot to talk about today, so I couldn't postpone any sort of live stream because there's actually a lot of very significant things going on that happen on the monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, and semi-annual close, of which really going to drive the biases to go on for... Oh, it's July! Yeah, that's right, it's July. My bad. Yeah, I am that fucking underslept right now. So with that said, I don't know, something weird is going on. I actually did get enough sleep. I got like 8 hours of sleep, but you know that feeling when your eyes feel heavy and like keeping them open is a little bit difficult and you just don't feel at the top of your game? That's how I feel right now, but I think that things are pretty damn clear, so I can at least get out what I think needs to be getting out today, that is. So this is going to be a big focus on the long-term analysis for this stream, of course, and with that in mind, I will cover short-term time frames as well, but they are more or less, well, they're more or less sideways as fuck, man. Welcome to the crab market, baby. We are in a crab pig market. Anyways, with that said, into the Krown Chain application we go, which can be found at app.krownchain.net. By the way, don't buy anything right now if you are the type of person to be buying anything to begin with. We're going to have a sale for the 4th of July to represent the Americans and draw it out into some mid-European summer holiday as well. Anyways, with that said, Bitcoin dominance still heading up. We do see it around 51%, which does imply that we are going to see Bitcoin soak up most altcoins, and we probably are looking at a move relatively soon. Whether Bitcoin goes to the upside or the downside, altcoins getting wrecked versus their Bitcoin Satoshi pairing in general over the next probably year or so. So get ready for that. We all have that to look forward to. Oh man, it's fucking glorious right now. Fear and greed index also at a 28 as well, so we are still in the fearful zone as you would expect, as Bitcoin did, more or less fail to rally in any significant measurement off the 50% dump-ola from the last couple of months. And we do see, what else do we see? Actually, not much. We actually do see a few altcoins actually having a decent day, I suppose. Maker, Xfin Network, Compound, Swiss Borg, Terra, Telcoin, Decentraland, Nem, Engine Coin, and Aave actually all having a decent day, in fact. On the other side, though, mostly the doggy-related coins, it looks like, plus Horizon, Nano, Decred, Filecoin, Cello, and Revain. Not looking too hot right there. Anyways, into the market data tab we go. Let's see what we got going on for right now. We actually see the global funding rate is, once again, slightly negative. It's pretty much zero. So I do think, if I'm going to spoil this prize a little bit, even though I am going to be more or less bearish on Bitcoin as spoiled surprise, I do think it's more likely that Bitcoin bounces off the $30,000 region once again. We probably do get around the $40,000 territory. I don't think that Bitcoin's ready to like fully break down, if it is going to break down just yet. Very likely does come, but not for right now. Probably going to take a few months, to be quite honest with you. Anyways, other than that, do we see anything of particular interest? Okay, I want to also focus on this right here as well, the global exchanges net flows. Again, you can find all this data for free on our app. I think that we probably offer the most data for fucking free, for the motherfucking price of free. On the interwebs right now that I'm aware of. Anyways, looking at this right here, I think this is actually rather telling. We do see, or sorry, first I should explain this, the exchange net flows. The difference between the number of Bitcoin flowing into and out of all exchange wallets. Okay, so if this number is positive, then inflow is greater than outflow. And of course, vice versa if it's negative. So what do we see right now? It is actually positive, of course. So that means that people are putting their Bitcoins, they're putting their cryptos into exchanges. Why do you put your cryptos into exchanges? To leverage to buy more cryptos, right? Maybe not in general, as yeah, you're probably putting on exchanges to at the very least cover your positions, and maybe just, well, get the fuck out. Anyways, global open interest still not really doing anything of particular interest. I want to see this take a massive leg up above what our level is going to be right here at about 4.63 billion. That looks to be the top side of the range. Actually, is that exactly right? Yeah, I believe that is actually exactly right. Okay, so beautiful right there. Alongside, price action actually taking a leg up above or below. That would be the $42,000 or I guess $41,000 high to the upside versus about $30,000 to the downside. Until then, we really don't have anything new to be speaking about as far as this $10,000 range goes. There's not really anything too much interesting that we already haven't said like a million goddamn times. But just want to peruse around the different sort of metrics going on right here. Realized cap, I think this also deserves a little bit of recognition as well. This is essentially an average of what people bought their Bitcoins for on the last price that it moved. So let me actually explain that in a more eloquent way by just referencing the tooltip right here. The stored value of Bitcoin calculated by summing up up each Bitcoin at the price when it was last moved. So you can effectively say that we have a lot of overhead pressure. You can see right here as well, and this is actually perhaps going to play into the analysis here too. You can see that this is kind of coming in somewhere around like mid, maybe upper $50,000 territory, and that means that a lot of people are essentially underwater. They're holding long-term losses, is what I'm trying to say. They are quite literally holding long-term losses, it looks like. Anyways, What else do we see over here that's of particular interest? I don't really see anything of too much, actually. What is this? Valuation metric for Bitcoin network using daily active addresses and Metcalfe's law. Actually, that's actually very, very interesting. I will have to spend a little bit more time in private with that one. And fear greeted X, you can see that we are just healthily in the fearful zone as we should be right now. Anyways, other than that, I think it's time to actually go into the price action charts themselves. We're going to do, again, high term time frame analysis, of which we have so fucking much to say today. And hodlers, turn your pretty little faces away, because this is going to be very, very... This one's going to be intense. This one's going to be hurtful as well. And I don't want to hurt your feelings. I just want to present the analysis as we have it. Anyways, okay, a couple things going on right here. In the most simplistic sense, Bitcoin did close the last monthly for June, and we did close below the Cyan 9 exponential moving average right here. If you look at the totality of Bitcoin's history, if we go all the way to the, to the genesis here on BLX index, anytime that Bitcoin has been essentially above the 9 exponential moving average, well, that has been your long-term macro bull market, starting out over here, starting out over here, starting out over here, starting out over here as well. So we have multiple iterations on this. And of course, whenever Bitcoin does just close below it, even in the oh-so slightest metric right here, it does signal kind of the beginning of the end for that cycle, if you will. So we can see, again, right on over here, you know, this one produced from actual breakage to next major low at about 70% drawdown. Yeah, fucking crash is the proper word right there. Same thing over here, breaks below, and then where do we have on this next bull trap to next major low? 75%. That's not necessarily the best signature of all time. Then what do we have over here? Same thing. We close below the 9 exponential average into the next low. What do we see? About 61%. Now I didn't take that from the prior high in this case, but let's do that in this case as well. Oh, that's another 74% loss right there. And then we have another one right here, again, just briefly closed below. And then where is that one to the next low? Oh, another 62% right there as well. Anyways, we did close below that one last night. This is the most simplistic way of looking at it right here. Obviously, there are several more things that we should look at right here, right now. And what do we have next? We have the big one, the one indicator to rule them all. It's not going to work on BLX index right now, because BLX index, I believe, only updates on like a 24-hour basis, like for the day prior. It's basically like a day late is what I'm trying to say. What we can do is we can go over to Bitstamp and of course Coinbase. Both are going to be you know, your your kind of like retailer spot exchanges for the most part, and both of these are showing negative slopes, healthily negative slopes, if you will. And anytime that we have seen the slope change on this, it has signaled at the very best a deep correction, and at the very worst a prolonged bear market. So if we just go over the history of this in the past, we do see, of course, the last negative slope that we saw was right here, you know, very, very similar to that last metric that we looked at, albeit a little bit later than what we saw from the break of the 9 exponential average right here. And again, I do want to highlight that all of these do bounce up. Actually, all of these do bounce up, as you will know, as you will notice. And what do we have from that signal given to next major low? Well, we already kind of know 60 to 70% drawdown. I can't believe I'm using that word. It's a fucking crash, man. It's a fucking crash. Wick to wick from last high to next low is going to be about 64.5%. Or if you want to take the last the last major high to next major low, again, about 73%. So anywhere between about 60 to 70 and some odd change percent right there. Same thing right on over here. Where does Bitcoin get the negative slope? It gets it right here in March 2018. So you can see, again, Bitcoin does put in a bit of a bull trap. We do bounce above the 9 exponential average, even hold it there for a little bit of time. And then that area to next major low, there's your 76% drawdown. Yeah, there you go. Anyways, do we have another example over here? Yes, we do. And this would be the one thing that I think would be a little bit more on the long-term okay-ish side, if you are going to be long-term bullish, I suppose. Hey, what's up, Josh? There he is. Oh, my fucking man. Good to see you. And there he is, Scott Carney. I'm actually going to turn down the alerts for the time being. Just so that we can get through this today, because actually I'm going to have a bit of trouble keeping my own attention on myself, as realistically my brain is not working at the maximum capacity, and I really need maximum capacity right now because it's already fucking limited, man. It's not the biggest brain of all time. Anyways, okay, so looking at this right here, what do we see? We do see that this one actually did get a negative slope. This was June 2016. This is probably best case scenario in my opinion for Bitcoin. However, you'll notice that there are a couple different things right out the fucking gate. First and foremost, we did not break below the 9 exponential average in this case right here, and even then there was a pretty deep correction here, about 40%, which would be very similar to what we've done thus far. But I do believe that this is a bit of a different setup, because not only is an exponential average condition not fulfilled right and over here, but if we do go back to the biweekly as well, you'll notice that we do have another condition that does suggest that the next rally very likely does fail. And that would be this baby right here, of which we did not get any sort of cross to the downside around that area, actually. So it's a bit of a different sort of interpretation, in my opinion. And that's something that we've been keeping a keen eye on for a long time. time now. So while that is an iteration where technically speaking, that specific signature did not produce the 60 to 70% pullback that you typically do expect from that, I would argue that that is a bit of a different sort of, piece of the market cycle. Anyways, other than that, do we have another iteration? Yes, we do. Right on over here, again, Bitcoin puts in essentially a bull trap and right above the 9x moving average, but we did break below it before, and then eventually comes down about 76% right there. So I do think that it is, relevant to be looking at these things right now. And while Bitcoin probably does get a bounce off of $30,000 once again, that bounce anywhere into the mid $40,000 territory would very likely be a sell for myself. The higher term time frame that we go, the worse that it starts to look. Actually, if we go to if we go to the bi-monthly right here, what do we see? Well, we have officially crashed down below the topside trailing band, so we are no longer trending. And now the topside trailing band should be resistance going onwards and forwards here. That is going to be right around about $45,000. So I do expect a lot of resistance around that region if and when Bitcoin does get there, if it even gets there at all, to be frank as well. Anyways, anytime that we have seen something relatively similar to this, I mean, it has kind of been the end of that cycle, if you will. But technically speaking, we have not broken below the 9 in this case right here. But that's not important for this one. We really don't have enough history for it anyways, and it actually tells you a little bit too late if you're waiting for that to begin with. So I think a little bit less useful in that metric, but you can see that, yes, once again, we do have a high right there. And if we do go to the bi-monthly over here, you will actually notice that we did confirm bearish divergence actually coming off that last high as well. And your easy target is going to be somewhere around the 20 simple in this case. Your more aggressive target is going to be somewhere around the 21. Both of those are going to be about 25 to $20,000 respectively. Anyways, going back on over here, let's go to the quarterly and let's see what the quarterly is looking like. Quarterly, again, closing below the topside trailing band, so we are not trading on any higher term time frame right now, as far as the trailing bands do suggest. And the topside trailing band should be once again a resistance. And where does it come in around? Mid $40,000 territory here as well. You'll actually even notice that this signature right here, very similar to this signature right here, and this signature right here on the last couple major macro highs. Is there anything else that I want to be looking at the quarterly right here? No, actually not. Not anything too specific at least. Let's go over to the bi-yearly as well. And what do we have? I mean, the bi-yearly is probably the one that I think could perhaps imply that maybe Bitcoin does form a base somewhere at the $30,000 region, as long as we are essentially remaining above last bi-annual open. I suppose you could make an excuse for it. That is where the topside trailing band comes in around, but this is so fucking new right here. I mean, we just have literally 2 ticks on it. Do I think that means all that much? I think that it kind of speaks for itself when we see all the other higher term timeframes, which have a lot more data for them, are suggesting a completely different picture. So all of these, again, I do want to be on record as saying they all lead into a bull trap, which I don't believe that we've seen just yet. This is a pretty pitiful bull trap, if that is, all the way up to about $41,000. And if we go over to the bi-weekly as well, we see something extremely similar. We've gone over this a million times as well, but I do think that it is relevant here. We did get the bi-weekly MACD crossing the downside, obviously, and all the other iterations that we have seen in the past have been, well, actually, I'm curious if we have another one on BLX. Let's see, do we? No, not really. Yeah, unfortunately not really. So we'll just go back to stamp for this one. Anyways, we've only got 3 iterations for it, so not a whole hell of a lot of good sample size, but it does play in with the rest of the analysis, and very similar signature to what we saw back on over here in November 2019, right? Where Bitcoin puts in about a 3-month-long consolidation on the highs, drops down, bases on the white 20-simple moving average right here, gets that bearish cross on the bi-weekly MACD, bounces up above the 9x moving average in this case, but it is just a bull trap, and guess what? We eventually base on the 55 and break lower over time. You already know the percentages on that move because we've already measured it out a million fucking times. So, somewhere around 60 to 70% of, in the totality from the prior high to next major low. Same thing right in over here. We get the bi-weekly MACD cross to the downside. Bitcoin based off the 20 simple, bounces up above the 9x moving average. It is a rejection. Down we go to the 55. And this takes a long time. Like, make no mistake about it. This takes a long fucking time right here. But over the next few months, yes, Bitcoin does base lower and lower, continuously putting in lower highs, not necessarily putting in lower lows until the actual inevitable break to $33,000 from $6,000. So an eventual 50% washout. And then, of course, the only other iteration that we have before that is right in over here. Bitcoin, again, based on the 20 simple, bounce up into the 9, even above it, closes above it, which is fine too. But they're all fucking bull traps. They're all fucking bull traps. And again, you already know that the percentage move on this one's around 70% based on the 55, eventually breaks lower. That is looking pretty damn nasty right there. So I do think that Bitcoin very likely does get another try back up into the mid $40,000 territory. You know, maybe we grind out 30,000 bucks once again, but I would have the disposition that this is first and foremost going to be, at least from my perspective, the next potential major short opportunity. Now, of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not saying that anyone should, you know, be doing this alongside myself. I'm just sharing my stupid opinion on the interwebs, but I do think that it is relevant to be looking at a lot of these things, of which I'll show you one more on the bearish side long term. This one's going to be based off these three moving averages right here: the red 10 simple, the yellow 21 exponential moving average, and the blue 30 simple moving average. You're going to see a very similar sort of signature that we've been kind of looking at in the last few major highs as well. And it looks something like this, where we see the red 10 symbol crossing the downside of the 21, and then the 30 simple is governing from above. The 30 simple is what I really like for kind of like long-term trend. In that case, you know, if it has positive slope, I kind of, you know, ignore bearish signals for the most part, and vice versa for the other side. But you'll notice in the past, we actually do see a pretty interesting interplay between this. The last time that we saw this sort of signature right here, same sort of thing. Again, Bitcoin basing for about 3 months on the highs, breaks down. Again, breaks down over here, puts in a consolidation for about a month or two, and then bounces up into the cross, like right into the cross, gets rejected, actually above it. I mean, it does even close above all these major moving averages right here, but that eventually does become, well, the inevitable drop over time, you know, more aggressively right after that cross and rejection, about 30%. And then of course, later on, I mean, we even close on new highs over here, but eventually do go lower after that coronavirus dump. Anyways, same thing over here. And again, the blue 30 simple is around where you would expect your resistance. Guess where it is? Mid $40,000 territory, and we'll be climbing higher and higher over time. Same thing over here, 2018, right? We get the cross between all of these. Bitcoin's kind of basing on the lows, bounces up into it. The blue 30 simple becomes your, you know, your resistance point, if you will. And then we never go above it for the next year or so until right on over here. By the way, this cross works incredibly well to the upside as well. In fact, that's probably what I'd be waiting for in order to get maybe macro bullish or macro long once again. Same thing over here, phenomenal signature, taking you all the way from, you know, 250 bucks to 20,000 bucks, not bad. And then same thing, you know, same sort of signature over here on the downside, right? We do see the bearish cross. Bitcoin's basing on the lows. This one's incredibly similar to what we're doing right now, by the way, like very fucking similar. Let's just pull this one out so you can see. When in doubt, pull it out. Come on, Jesus Christ, too far away. You know, very similar right here. You're kind of basing on the lows, put in a bit of a bull trap into the blue 30 simple. That becomes your governor, and then boom, down. Same thing over here. Well, God damn it, man, it's so far back. Yeah, same thing over here as well. So I think this is going to be very drawn out. This is not going to be resolved this month, next month, probably not even for the next like 3-4 months. But over time, I would be extremely, skeptical about a lot of these calls for 100,000 bucks or 250,000 bucks by end of year. I think that that's extremely unlikely right now. You know, but that's not to say that things are bad long term. I mean, the long term, if you are on like a year-to-year basis, it's just fucking up. I mean, this is a decent chart over the past 10 years. Make no mistake about it. But if you are trying to play this next move as like the next one to make you rich as all hell, I would express serious concern in the mid, even upper $40,000 territory. I'm not even saying that we're going to get there, but if we do, for myself, that is a sell first and foremost. We've done, you know, we kind of completed a lot of the things that I've been very patiently waiting for, and so I think right now is the time to be a little more protective. I mean, if you are in, if you are in long-term positions and stuff like that, perhaps that's a time to consider, closing some off, maybe hedging yourself, protecting yourself essentially. So I'm not saying that, you know, it's 100% guaranteed to work out this way exactly again, but you also have to kind of bring into the conversation, like, is this time really different? Well, as a trader, if you are running with any of these pieces as your edge, you look at that as, okay, this is my bias until proven otherwise. How do we prove otherwise? Well, basically closure above about 50,000 bucks. Anyways, to further the potential pushback in any sort of a run to the $40,000 territory, I'll bring you over to CME here as well. And guess what? We do have that nice unfulfilled gap right around about 46,000 bucks to 49,000 bucks right here, which we've gone over a million fucking times, is in line with the 6.8 Fibonacci retracement. This is a bearish retracement right here, by the way. Also the 0.5, which are kind of your traditional sort of bull trappy-ish areas. So a lot of things do kind of align with that. And short term, I mean, short term really doesn't look too hot as well. Although I would be saying that it's a lot more likely that Bitcoin bounces off of 30,000 bucks again, or 32,500 again, rather than breaks it from right here. I actually do not think that Bitcoin's going to break down at like this month. I don't think it's going to break down probably even next month. I think we probably put in the bull trap if it's going to happen somewhere around August, September, most likely. And then if the downside move wants to play out, it still plays out. But here is my general idea. Here's my general disposition. I would still actually, and maybe I'll definitely regret this, but I would still treat this red ellipses as potential long-term macro basing point. Even if Bitcoin does get a bull trap right on over here until we essentially break it. I mean, I feel like this is very, very similar to 2018, where your 6,000 level is going to be substituted for like a $30,000-ish region. And, you know, how long did we stay around that region until we actually did break? Eventually, you know, it took about a year actually. So it was quite the waiting time, and you could have been short. I remember even, and this is a great story right here. I'm not trying to pick on this person, but I think it's like actually a really good learning opportunity for Tone Vase. Remember Tone Vase famously put on a short. I think he said it was his only Bitcoin trade, or his only like Bitcoin short trade, something like that, somewhere over here, right? And, you know, realistically, he was actually pretty close to the actual break. I mean, it wasn't just, it was like a few months later, but you got to be asking yourself, you know, from an opportunity cost perspective, is that a really good decision? You know, shorting like on the lows when you're gonna have to eat up, multiple percent rallies. I mean, in these cases, like these were all pretty decent right here. I mean, that one doesn't look like much, but that is 24% to the upside. That's very tradable, no doubt. This one over here, 45%. I mean, really fucking tradable. This one over here, 50% rally. I mean, these are all really, really good rallies. So it's very likely to take some time if it is gonna break down. And I would give 30,000 bucks a chance to hold. I mean, it is possible, yes. I don't like kind of going with those hard and set rules, as far as what we showed earlier, but I would still be looking at, you know, essentially a confirmed breakdown, basically below the same levels that we've been speaking at for a while now. So, you know, weekly closure below 32,000 bucks, daily closure below about 31,000 bucks, 4-hour closure below about 30,300 bucks. If one of those three things happens, bad, basically bad. We can start talking about targets towards, 20,000 or so. And actually, I didn't do this just yet, but where would about 70% shaved off this price action kind of land us, just out of curiosity, from prior high to next low? Yeah, about 19,000 bucks. So, you know, does Bitcoin wick down a little bit further than that? Maybe yes. Does it get front run from that? Maybe yes as well. I don't have we're getting way ahead of ourselves right now, to be honest with you, but it is kind of fun to measure those things out, and also notice that it lines up with several other things of which we've gone over a million goddamn times as well. Anyways, I think we should talk about a little bit of short-term price action right here too. If we go down to the 4-hour, is it looking like we are more likely to test the downside or the upside right here? Hey, what are you doing? Did Elsa just poop in her chair? I think she did. She's cleaning up right now. Anyway. Oh, you spilled your smoothie. That's what you call it. Yeah, okay. Anyways, you know, Bitcoin on the 4 right here. I'm sure that a lot of people are looking at this as a head and shoulders. I suppose it could work out as one. You know, the way to play it would be more or less the same anyways. If we do see a breakage, basically this sort of what would be your neckline right around 34,100-ish region on a 4-hour closure, even a 2-hour closure probably gets it, then yes, I would be looking for this one to very likely play out. You can already kind of visualize your measure move is going to be somewhere down around the 786, which is also structural support as well, at about 32,500-ish region. So we very likely get a bounce around there. But you know, in the short term, I'd actually be looking for something a little bit like this to kind of lead into the next potential major bull trap. Something like this. Like this is what I'm trying to do. So we probably come back down around again, scare the shit out of everyone, and then pump it back up, get everyone super fucking bullish. And then, well, if the inevitable wants to happen, the inevitable can happen. But at the very least, if Bitcoin is going to get that, bull trappy-ish region at around the mid $40,000 territory, I'd be looking for it to come back down to low $30,000. And then, you know, do we actually break it or not? I will not give my personal opinion on that just yet. I think that it's a legitimate possibility, obviously, but you know, you can see, if you've been on this channel for a while now, we've been extremely patient with this, and I would actually urge, or at least I would caution, no, not caution, I would say patience is still, you know, the name of the game right now. You know, if you want to be the biggest fucking bear, you got to be asking yourself, can I live through what would be, you know, basically like a 50% move to the upside? Probably not. I mean, what is that going to be? Like 2x fucking, or actually, well, no, because your equity is going to be going up if Bitcoin goes up if you store it in Bitcoin. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess that's not going to work out for an easy mental math right there. But my point is that even if you're the biggest bear, you're probably still looking for another bounce off the low $30,000 territory. You're going to get your fills higher is what I'm trying to say. I also want to address this as well. A lot of people still looking at this as a head and shoulders. It is not. There's nothing head and shoulders about this any longer. Your right shoulder has dragged on for too long. You do want to see something resembling symmetry between your left shoulder and your right shoulder. And we don't have that right here. It's dragged on for a couple weeks too long, it looks like right now. What else I want to talk about? Yes, so a lot of the people talking about Wyckoff. I've pretty much just muted anything about Wyckoff nowadays. Just because, I mean, Wyckoff is good, yes, but the problem is that you have a lot of people who, I would suspect, based off of their analysis, they have not been spending a long time studying Wyckoff theory, which is actually very powerful, very, very good. And they are just drawing like a Wyckoff accumulation, like hopium chart on everything that they want to see. Is this Wyckoff accumulation right here? Well, in order to define that, we'd actually really need to put on the volume profile. And what would we expect to see? We'd expect to see higher volume on the bottom side of this. What do we see right here? This is the profile. This is the volume profile of distribution. How do you fucking know that? Look at all the business that's being done above $36,000 right here, the point of control. This is where all your thick nodes are, and it's a lot more thin down around the $30,000 region. So that's not what you want to see. You want to see quite literally the opposite. If anything, would be a distribution profile. I don't think it really fits the bill on any of those schematics, to be honest with you. I think that this is a different thing. We can see different things without goddamn fractals, for the love of God. And realistically, like I have been saying, I think that Bitcoin will bounce off this level once again. I don't think that we're breaking down below $30,000 from here. If we're going to break down below $30,000, I think it's going to take at least another few months, in my opinion. I think it's a lot more likely to bounce first than not, and put in like a real bull trap. Because right now the market's very, very fragile. The sort of sentiments within this market is just fucking terrible right now, and I don't get the impression that there's a shit ton of retailers in this market as well. So with that in mind, I do think that whether you're bullish or bearish, it would make more sense from a market cycle perspective to give the bulls the nod for like the short term, I suppose, after like a short term pullback from here. Again, this does look like it wants to break down. Anyways, I forgot a couple more things on the higher term timeframes. Let's go back on over here. And what is this? This is my bi-monthly chart. We do see bi-monthly Stokes actually crossing the downside for the first time since really, May 2019. These are, by the way, terrible timers for upside moves, especially, but for the downside, actually, I mean, we only have one other iteration, but it did cross down basically into December 2017, which was the $20,000 prior all-time high. Anyways, not too helpful right there, to be honest with you. But if we do go to the monthly, I'm curious what we see right here. Yeah, we do see it heading nice and healthily to the downside. And it won't be crossing up as long as we're below about 51,500-ish region. So there you go. Anyways, what about the quarterly? I'm just curious where this one's at right now. Yeah, still going up, I suppose, but yeah, not gonna be too much help right there, unfortunately. So yeah, let's see. Is there anything else that I've missed? I'm sure that we have some sort of bearish divergences, maybe already confirmed on a 3-month as well. Let's see. Do we? Let me go back to this chart right here. Yeah, we do actually. That is a significantly lower high on RSI oscillator with a much higher high on price action. That's not good. That's $20,000 versus about $50,000, or actually $60,000 in this case, just about. Just about $1,300 below there. So that's not good. But again, these are higher term time frame charts. They're not going to play out today. They're not going to play out tomorrow. They're probably going to take like another half year to play out, if anything. So this market, has been extremely generous to the upside for the last more or less year, realistically, since like coronavirus dumb time of 2020, just mostly straight up, sometimes a bit boring. But again, still straight up as far as any higher term time frame trend is concerned. So now it looks like we're gonna actually have to work for our money again. So welcome, baby, welcome, because this is gonna be a very fun time for the people who do stick around. I do salute you, because realistically, for the people who stick around, you're going to get a phenomenal, world-class, extremely high-level education in market cycles in a relatively short amount of time in comparison to what you would expect in traditional markets, of which we can bring you over to traditional markets as well. But remember, we did close all of these higher-term timeframes. Let's see what Dixie's looking like right now. What is Dixie doing? Oh, that's very interesting. Pumped into the fucking closure. We have a higher low. This is extremely unlikely to work out as a lower high right now. We see all momentum oscillators continuing with the upside right here. The monthly did reclaim the range, and while we probably do have a short-term downside move, maybe down to like 91.67-ish region, ultimately the second that this thing even reapproaches $93, I'm looking for this one to put in some prolonged upside. A lot of people are talking about the death of the US dollar. Maybe it does happen over time, but not right now, or at least not this year, if that's what you're waiting for. Again, I go to the 6-month chart over here. This would be the biggest counterpoint to that, but as you can see, we do have a downtrend. Obviously, high, low, lower, high, lower, low. But in this case, can we spend some more time, rallying up, and keeping in mind that this is, quite literally a semi-annual chart, meaning that we only get 2 closes per year. Well, we can spend another year going to the upside, just to put in another distributed phase, which probably does work out with Bitcoin's next major upside move, and also downside move when this one really moves on the macro to the upside as well. So, we see a lot of things lining up on a bunch of different schedules here. I think the bi-monthly is a little more obvious. Looks a lot like it wants to go to about $94, and let's go to the regular monthly as well. Which yes, this one did reclaim the range, so I do like that. At least for another try to the upside, we do see multiple drives of bullish divergence coming off the lows. Actually, not multiple drives, just 2 drives right there. But monthly TSI is trending up. So while that is in the bearish buy zone, and long term technically is, still kind of downside angled, this one can rally up easily, very fucking easily to 94, 95, $96, and just reject from there, and then perhaps keel on over in the years to come. But this is going to take a very long time, man. These things do not happen overnight, and that's basically what I'll be saying right now, man. Not too many nice things to say today, but again, I do think there are going to be opportunities to the upside, and there will obviously be bounces along the way. No fucking doubt about that. Marks don't move in a straight goddamn line. But extremely short-term timeframes, yeah, probably do come back down here, it looks like. And then I would be looking for another bounce. I do still think that Bitcoin very likely bounces into like the mid $40,000 territory, and then that's probably the next major opportunity for hodlers to get out before, at the very least, a major sideways market. At best between about $30,000 and $45,000, and at worst, 75 maybe more percent pullback crash to $20,000, $19,000, anywhere around there is fair game. So that is kind of my disposition right now. We have been extremely fucking patient on this channel. I think that this was like a really good sort of way to be taking this over the past couple months here since we really got into this. And if you've survived this, if you've been sticking around on this channel for that long, like really pat yourself on the back, because this has been a very, very difficult market as of recent times, and it's only going to get more difficult from here, in my opinion. So get ready, because this is really the time where you actually do have to cultivate some sort of a skill. It doesn't necessarily have to be with trading, but even if you're a long-term investor, like, understand what is your fucking criteria for getting the hell out. What is your criteria for risk management? What is your criteria for profit taking too? I mean, all of these things need to be considered. And again, I do want to bring it back on over here as well, just before we kind of exit this. Let's go over to Dogecoin, right? Dogecoin still 24.5 cents. And I mean, this just looks like a very anemic lower high right here, to be honest with you. But look, Dogecoin, I mean, this thing, until this thing goes back down below 10 cents and realistically 5 cents, we're probably not done to the downside overall. Could that happen with Bitcoin just range between 45 and 30,000 bucks? Yeah, it's possible, definitely possible. That would be the more subdued bullish view. But understand that, we were very spoiled. We were very, very spoiled by generous markets for the past year. And if you are new to trading, understand that does not happen. That is not the norm. That is an outlier situation by fucking definition. I mean, realistically, if you want to do a statistical analysis of consolidations versus trending moves, I think it's like 30 or 20% of the time markets are actually trending. Now, these studies are done in traditional markets, but more or less the same shit anyways. And so we spent, a year, basically a year, trending to the upside. If things are going to consolidate for a long time too, well, you could expect, a very prolonged sideways market, in my opinion, at best. Anyways, Dogecoin right here, again, extremely concerning in my opinion. Until this thing comes back down below 10 cents, we're very unlikely done. And again, there's going to be bounces here too, man. I mean, this market is not just going to move in a straight line to the downside. You're going to get your bounce, you're going to get your bull traps. And this one, this one looks all kinds of weird right now. So I understand that this analysis might be a little bit difficult to follow, because I'm actually I can feel myself not being too clear, and again, that's just kind of due to the lack of sleep. What I'm going to do probably over the weekend is I'm going to get a full night of sleep, and I'm going to do my best job for now, like the next edition of the long-term analysis video, because there's a lot to go over here, and there's humongous trades on both the bull side and the bear side. But generally speaking, I think it's time to be protective rather than aggressive, as this market is going to be absolutely motherfucking unforgiving if and when it does want to drop out. Is there anything else that I want to go over right here? What would my conditions for a little bit of short-term upside be? While this is technically head and shoulders right here, and you probably should be looking for a move on breakage down to the 786 retracement at about 32.5. If we do pop back above the right shoulder of this, you actually do have a swing failure pattern in play, or actually a head and shoulders continuation pattern in play. And you can make a measure move on this one. They're actually pretty damn good. In fact, I think they're actually a little bit better than, funnily enough, than like the actual downside move in a lot of cases, like where it's actually supposed to go. But in this case, if we do take out the right hand shoulder, which is basically right around 35 150, it looks like, just anywhere higher than this is good enough. Yeah, about 35 170 on BitMexico. Technically speaking, I'd be looking for a move somewhere around 37.5 to 38,000 bucks. Perhaps that does start the next sort of initiation of the bull trap in the mid $40,000 territories. But I'd really take this one step at a time right now, because things are going to get difficult, man. Things are going to get very fucking difficult. So yeah, fair enough. That's your positive message of the day. How about that? All right, cool. I think I'll turn back on the alerts right on over here. And man, I've just been speaking my fucking head off for the last 35 minutes. Apologies for that. I know that my voice sounds like a raspy lesbian, and while that is music to some ears, it's also nails on the chalkboard to other people. So I'll give you a break on that, and let's go on over here. Check out what we got on the good old messages for right now. And let's see. Mr. Josh says, "Oh baby, finally long-term TA time." Yeah, man. Hell yeah, there we go. Realistically, the problem with long-term analysis is that you really don't have too much to update on, on like a day-to-day basis. But now that we have new monthlies, quarterlies, and biannuals, well, there's a lot to talk about. So yeah, realistically, we won't be updating that like a whole hell of a lot. Now it's kind of just following the picture on the greater scale, and well, just going to naturally take time, of course. What's up, Scott Carney? There he is. Hey, what's up, RK? Me too sick. I'm not me too sick. Hashtag me too. I'm feeling sick too. I'm feeling sick in the motherfucking head. Anyway, Scott Carney says, "Hello, sirs. ALYI, good time to add. I don't know what your position is, man. I also don't know what time frames you're looking at. I also have no idea what the fuck you're trying to do with this thing, man. How could I know? How could I know?" It's like, Scott, you know better. You know better. All right, let's put on log scale, because this chart is still long term. It's long term. I kind of do like it. It's a good spot to add. I don't know. Are you holding this one for like the next year? Probably not, because I do think that you will get a little bit lower, maybe for around 4 cents or so. If I'm again, you didn't give me a time frame to look at, so I don't know if you're looking at the weekly, daily, or whatever. But yeah, weekly is very obviously in a range, man. I think if you're going to be looking to add, you got to be thinking of opportunity costs. I don't think that this one's ready to break to the upside anytime soon. I think it's going to spend maybe another month or two baking between about 4 cent and 7 cent resistance to the upside. Above 7 cent, that's actually where I would add, because that's your actual breakout, and you will likely be in something that's actually moving at that point too. For right now, sideways, and probably next move likely does come to the downside, it looks like. But again, I have no idea what the hell you're trying to do with this, so I don't know if that's going to be helpful or not at all. But basically, I'd be saying, look, man, you're looking at a bit of a sideways crab right here. Long term, it is bullish, though. I mean, I do always like higher lows, of course, and that one certainly does have it. All right, Dr. Colossus says, "Hey, Krown, what's up, man? Can you check out CHSB USD on the daily weekly?" Okay, CHSB. What is this? Oh, Swiss Warg. Okay, and you're looking at, I guess, Bitcoin, because all the other ones would make a little bit less sense in my opinion. Oh, no, you are looking at US dollar. Sorry about that. I goofed that one up. Let's see what we can do right here. Although I didn't see any US dollar pairing. Yeah, there's no US dollar pairing for this one, unfortunately, man. So the best that I can do is look at it versus Bitcoin for you. But let's see what we can do here. I mean, it actually looks pretty good versus Bitcoin. That does not mean that it's bullish versus US dollar. As you know, because, well, a little bit of different interplay right there. But this one is pretty damn good. I do think that it's stair-stepped its way up, and it is resolving this accumulation zone between late June and where we're at right now. Well, I guess it's like middle of June to late June right now. This is a fucking 4 hour. My bad. You're looking at a daily and weekly. Okay, let's see what we got going on. Yeah, still fine right here too. I would generally be looking for this one. Maybe have a short-term pullback to like 1685 region, 1700-ish region, and then try for another upside move. We do see some monikers of distribution on the high right here, but I do think that you are getting ready for another move to the upside first, somewhere around 2,000 satoshis. Then caution around there, most likely. Weekly is obviously in an uptrend as well, but this is very clearly a top to myself. So while I do think that there probably is another try to the upside, anywhere around 2,000 to 2,100 satoshis is in my opinion a gift in this case. The only way that I get bullish on this one long term, looking for new all-time highs, is if I did see closure on a daily time frame above about 2,300 satoshis. But for right now, yeah, short term it's got some upside, kind of similar to Bitcoin. well, I guess not necessarily short term on Bitcoin, but long term, not the biggest fan of this this sort of signature right here. Oh, we got flying dogs coming in again. Looks like we are being the dog sitters right now. And let's see what else we got going on right here. Ragio88 says, Sir Crowns, hello, sirs. Learnings a lot from watching you. It's cool, man. Please never leave us, and thank you, man. I have no intention to stop doing these. These are like the fun of my. These are like the fun highlight of my day, assuming that I'm not like actually fucking tired as all hell, But yeah, man, I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I don't really have any plans to stop this, like, at least until I'm probably like 50, I guess, which I don't know. That's it's like another 15, 20 years, right? So yeah, man, I mean, for me, it's a fun time. It's a very fun time. Anyways, you're saying, can I get your opinion on comp USDT on the 4 hour? Sure. All right, comp. It's like, what else am I going to do? Like, I don't have too many other skills, trying to get a gaming channel going, but that's pretty lackluster. Anyways, you're looking at 4 hour and you're looking at anything specific there? No, you're not. Okay. It is kind of Sarasota way up. Yes. Maybe a short-term pullback from where it's at right now. Nah, actually, I wouldn't even say that. I do think it probably has free range all the way up to this little breakdown right here at about 371 or so. I think we actually looked at this one yesterday. I'm gonna get rid of this for right now because it's not relevant. But what does a long-term look like to me? Long-term looks like absolute dog shit. This is not a picture of a very good chart, but short-term, yeah, I'd be looking for a little bit more upside. And hey, man, if you start to close it daily above this level, that 370-ish region, I'd extend this target significantly, all the way up to about 450, 460-ish region. I mean, these things can bounce really fucking heftily right now. But I would be cognizant of potential traps anywhere around, mid, deep $400 territory. Similar to Bitcoin in the mid to deep $40,000 territory. All right, cool. Jack Asselman says, good morning, Krown. Good morning to you, sir. Ethereum, Bitcoin, short, medium term, and a possible long term. Okay, I'm actually very interested to see what this one looks like. Yeah, okay, pretty decent buyback right there. We did hit our target all the way up to the 10 simple. That's 6 spot 4.5 million Satoshis. How did the monthly close? Okay, is the monthly problematic? Technically speaking, that just looks like profit taken to me. It's not a major issue right there. I suppose long term, I still do remain bullish on it. I mean, I shouldn't really hate a chart like that looks like that. I shouldn't hate a chart that looks like that. Certainly not. What about the quarterly? Yeah, definitely don't hate that chart. And what about the semi-annual? Definitely don't hate that chart as well. It has a massive range. Could easily come down to 5 million Satoshis, but long term, I would actually remain bullish on this one. Looking at a daily right here. What are we looking at right here? Let's see. Okay, we broke this level right here. Good. I'd probably be looking for another try towards the upside after maybe a short-term pullback down to like 6.3 million Satoshis. Generally speaking, I'd want to see it hit somewhere around about 6.7, maybe 6.8 region before entertaining the possibility of another high in place. But all higher-term timeframes actually are bullish. Short-term timeframes, like a 4 hour, could we be looking for a bit of a pullback based off this? It's actually looking more or less healthy right now. If it does want to pull back anywhere around 6.3 million Satoshis, short term is fine. But actually like this one for another try to the upside. In fact, actually do. And again, that would be somewhere around 6.7, 6.8 million. And again, all higher term timeframes on this one are bullish. So if we do get a bull trap on Bitcoin, this one actually probably does pretty damn good. And with that in mind, and keep in mind that Ethereum does have their event coming, I believe this month, that being July. And well, maybe we do see Ethereum lead the market for a little bit of time. Very possible. I mean, I haven't really considered that too much actually. So perhaps could be. That'd be another kind of point, I suppose on the blue law side. But still, a lot of things need to be done here on price action before I really start to think that it's safe once again. I'll put it that way. Yeah. All right. Anyways, let's see. Who do we have next? Mr. Legend Ali Z's, how you doing, man? AMD Daily Weekly, $98 next week before pullback. Oh dear Lord, trying to make the rent before next week. I like it. All right, here we go. Very good, very fucking good. Now you are saying $98 next week before pullback. Obviously this one is breaking out right now. You got a little bit of short-term resistance right here. Let's see what it looks like on like an hourly. Yeah, maybe a short-term pullback right here to be fair, but do we continue on to $98 before that? Let's look at the weekly in this case. And you're saying before next week or this week? Okay, next $98 next target before pullback. Okay, if you're looking at a weekly, then yes. I mean, you're pretty much right there. And this thing, technically speaking, has broken out on the on the weekly. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, taking out this last high right here was kind of my initiation for that. If you want to use a wick high, and in this case, I do think that it is relevant. Short-term time frames probably do pull back a little bit. I think it could pull back down to like somewhere around $90 is completely fair game. But long-term, would I be looking for this one basically to make new all-time highs? Yes, this is a very good chart. Looking at the monthly. yeah, bullish bias coming into the month of July here. This is a nice little reaccumulation at a high level. Again, very, very, very aggressive chart long term. But for now, I think that it is still respectable. And do we hit 98 bucks before the next pullback? I don't know if it depends what time frame you're defining a pullback on. If you're talking about a weekly, I mean, we kind of are at a level right here, to be fair. Do we head up to 96 before that? Maybe yes, but no, technically speaking, if you're just talking about like a short-term pullback, then no, I'd disagree. I'd say like 96, probably somewhere around 96 bucks. I do think that in the month of July, it's probably gonna make new all-time highs though. So it really depends what time frame you're looking at right here. If you're looking at a daily, it still looks, it looks pretty damn good. Short term probably does pull back, yes, but I like it long term a lot. So I don't really know exactly what you're going to define as a pullback, but anywhere above 90 bucks is fair game. I don't look at that as destroying structure at all. I still look at that as long term continuation of the upside, and very likely new all-time highs this month, or maybe I guess August is the next month after that. Vach what's up, man? Mr. Kozelka? Man, sorry, I'm totally butchering your name. I apologize for that. It's just my stupid American tongue is responsible. So good time to sit on hands for a long-term bullish trend. Your bias, neutral, bearish for following months. Yeah, I mean, again, it kind of depends how you define these terms, right? But for myself, I do think that what's going on over there, sir? Great balls of Jupiter, I like it. Great Scott. Okay, so where was I just now? Okay, yeah, this is actually a really good theory question right now. Okay, so the question is, so good time to sit on hands for long-term bullish trend. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but if we're defining terms here, long-term, do I think that Bitcoin's going to like trend towards new all-time highs from this exact region right here? Unlikely, no. I think it's going to take some time. If it is going to happen, it would probably look something like, Bitcoin just doesn't break 30,000 bucks for the next like 3 months to 3 to 4 months. If Bitcoin doesn't do that, maybe we could entertain the possibility of an actual macro low here. But still, if you are thinking in terms of opportunity cost, and you are a long-term hodler, and so when we're talking about like long-term hodler, I suspect that means like 5 years to 10 years plus for holding Bitcoin or whatever your crypto pet rock is. And would it be a good time to just kind of sit on your hands for that? Probably yes. I mean, it's very, very likely you are going to get better entries if you want. And at very worst, you get, around your same entry here in the mid 30s, in my opinion, because I don't think that this one's going to be like running away anytime soon. It's very likely going to take a long time, whether you're bullish or bearish. A little bit short if you're going to be bearish, though. Anyways, Sergio Gomez says, "Hey, Krown, can you look at Loom USDT on the daily weekly?" Sure. Loom. Okay, Loom. Where do I remember this one from? I know Loom Dart, but I don't know Loom Network. Okay, let's look at it on Poloniex. Probably going to have more history here. Let's see what we got. Looks like shit. Looks like absolute dog shit, man. That's not what a good chart does. Just goes straight down without any real bounces, any real meaningful bounce, that is. Oh, already 88% down. It's already 88 fucking percent down, man. And we haven't even really started with like the real downside. Oh man, this is gonna get way worse. Way fucking worse. Holy shit, this is bad. This is real fucking bad, man. You're looking at daily, weekly. Okay. Well, I do think it's important to look at the monthly here too. Look, this thing can bounce up all the way to fucking 8 cents. This thing can bounce up significantly to 8 cents. And I'd say that's a gift from the trading gods, baby, because this thing's very likely going for the full retrace over the next half year to a year down to 2 cents, maybe more. So, very likely will play with Bitcoin if Bitcoin bounces. This one will too. Bounce targets could be anywhere from like 8 to 10 cents. Anything below, especially 10 cents, is just a failed bounce before further confirmation to the downside. I really do not like this chart over a long period of time. But again, if Bitcoin bounced to like 45,000 bucks, do you find this thing, around 10 cents? Probably yes. Probably yes. Do you also find another macro low or high? Also probably yes, man. I don't like it. But let's see. Did I miss anything that you were kind of looking for right here? Are we in a more bouncy posture right now? Well, we actually are in the midst of perhaps putting in very likely hidden bearish divergence. As long as this thing confirms another local high, which it has not done just yet, by the way, it's not done just yet. Anywhere below, I mean, shit, man, anywhere below anything from this area right here, literally all the way up to like 16 cents, we will have hidden bearish divergence possible. I mean, we already have made higher highs above any RSI read throughout that period of time. Not fucking good, man. Not fucking good. So this thing can rally up all the way to like 10 cents, play out some massive hidden bearish divergence, and cough up the rally pretty easily. So I'm not a big fan of that one. Nate says, "Hello, Krown. What's up, Mr. Nate? Can you check out ZUO daily and weekly?" Yes, of course. ZUO, and you're talking about daily and weekly. Zuora, down. Daily very likely down, back down somewhere around about 1675 region before next potential short-term bounce. Weekly. Weekly's okay. Weekly kind of gives a bias that the next pullback is a bit of an opportunity here. I'm sure that some people are looking at this as a rising wedge, which I do think is relevant to call out, because if you are looking at this as already kind of breaking structure, it really hasn't had the response that you'd be expecting for this. But I do give it the benefit of the doubt. I do put more importance on price action above anything else. And I'm curious, did we take out this level right here? Yeah, we have. So if it wants to come back down and base somewhere around like 16 and a half, maybe even all the way down to 16 bucks even, that's fine. I do respect uptrends on these time frames above anything else. So I do happen to know that you are typically like very long-term minded, and this thing could come back down to 16 bucks, but I would still be looking at that as an opportunity. I mean, this does look like a real reversal. It's kind of sloppy, of course, but long-term, I'd actually remain bullish on this one. Weekly TSI turning up, weekly RSIs consolidating around the bullish control zone, and monthly just had a decent close on new highs for this past prior accumulation phase between August 2019 and where we're at right now. So I actually think this is, long-term okay. Probably short-term does pull back though. All right, cool. Mr. Poncho, there he is, just sending love, my brother. I love you too, sir. Good to see you, my man. Good to see you. Rocky, by the way, did you get Chivalry working for you? So you telling me this is not Wyckoff reaccumulation? It's certainly not reaccumulation. It can only be regular accumulation because we already had distribution. You can't have reaccumulation after distribution. You can only have reaccumulation after accumulation, actually. Anyways, just kind of splitting hairs right there. Obviously not important. I know what the fuck you mean. Anyways, but just Bearish consolidation. I mean, again, it depends how you define these things. Like if people are kind of just reading the titles of these streams and not listening to what I'm saying, they're going to get absolutely they're going to rip me to shreds if and when Bitcoin does rally up into the mid $40,000 territory. I think that's probably going to happen. But my disposition is that that's that's like your last chance to exit for a while. At best, Bitcoin comes back down to mid to low 30s and probably tries for another long form base there. At worst, we break down and, then you can see your $19,000, $20,000 targets very likely be fulfilled. Again, gonna take a long time, but the setups are there, sirs and sirs. Ule Van Staden, how you doing, man? I do not see a message from you, so I feel like that's very generous. I appreciate that, man. But feel free to have a chat as well. There he is, Faraz. Oh baby, there he is. By the way, man, that Doom Eternal video that you put up, holy shit, I'm definitely itching to play that now. Oh my fucking god, that looks so good, man. So goddamn good. It's gonna be a good time to be a gamer soon. It's gonna be a good time to be a gamer. Almost 3K subs on the gaming channel. Let's do it, baby. Fuck yeah, man. I'm so excited about that. Just slowly building it up. Anyway, Style Point says, could you take a look at CCIV on the short term? Elsa says I'm a nerd. Fuck you, sir. How about that? CCIV, Churchill Capital Corporation. Good. Daily's breaking out right now, and I'd be looking for this one to reach higher. 30 and 3/4 to 31 bucks. Looks pretty damn good right there. You can see obvious accumulation going on between March 2021 and kind of where we're at right now. Now, what other time frame did you look at? Oh, you said on the short term. Well, that's not relevant to you then at all. Let's go to a 4 hour. Still good. I still like it. Very likely back up somewhere around about 31 bucks. That's your next sort of short-term resistance right there. Okay, cool. Oh, there he is. Uli Van Staden says, okay, yeah, your question was separated. All good. Can you check if you can get Krown to share high insight? Is that a ticker? Like HI, or are you talking about high term time? That's like literally the beginning of the stream. But if you're talking about this, I mean, you didn't really give me a time frame on this, so I don't really know where to go with this one. I mean, it's downtrending right now. Is it getting ready for another move to the upside though? Somewhere around 45 bucks, perhaps yes, but I'm not a humongous fan of it. On the weekly, I'm guessing, yeah, weekly says that probably does get pushed back, but any sort of a rally towards 45, 46 bucks is not good. I don't know if that's what you're. I don't know if that's what you're going off of though. Maybe you meant like high term timeframes on Bitcoin. Well, we spent like 30 to 35 minutes going over that at the beginning of the stream, so probably best to just scroll back there because it's quite dense, and I don't think it'd be relevant to repeat everything with that because there's a lot of people here who pretty much already heard that. So hopefully that was helpful or clear, or maybe we could come at it at a different angle. J3F says Bitcoin USD on the 15-minute and hourly. Thank you, sir. Okay, we can do that. Was that 15 and 30? 15 and hourly. Okay, 15 and hourly. Let's go down to the hourly first. Okay, the hourly, let's come on, there we go. Hourly, again, you know, do you call this a bit of a head and shoulders right here? You could, yes. I do think it's actually kind of doing the dance of death right around this 34,100-ish region right here. Look, if Bitcoin closes an hourly dildo basically on new lows from what would be your neckline, you do have a break and you should be targeting somewhere down around about 32,500-ish region. I don't necessarily think that that's actually what's happening right now because of the way that Bitcoin is doing the dance of death right around this region. If it drags on for like another, I don't know, for another like half day or so, it's very unlikely to work out like that. We're very likely to pop back up. And if we do take out the $35,000 swing high right here from, I guess it was daily closure, then I'd be looking for this one to pop back up around 36,400-ish region, basically the high of this rally thus far. And while it probably does pull back short term from there, I would be looking for general continuation to the deeper 30s, like 38,000 bucks, 39,000 bucks overall. 15-minute, what do we see right here? Same thing, you know, short term, a little bit of upside, perhaps back up to about 34.5 region. But again, any sort of a break on new lows below 34.1, and yeah, I'd be looking at a move towards 32,500-ish region. So actually, short-term timeframes are kind of where you have to be right now if you want anything, if you want any sort of relatable signals. Honestly, kind of sparse territory right now. Okay, Billy Pecknick says, possible to take a look at iron titanium? Yeah, sure, as long as I have the ticker, I'm happy to look at it, ma'am. All right, you're looking at Titan Company? No, you're looking at, where is it? Well, it looks like we might not be able to look at it because I don't suspect that we can find it. Iron titanium, maybe I just try typing that. Iron titanium. Let's see, is it popping up? It's not popping up, actually. Still not seeing it, man. Unfortunately, I don't. Do you have a ticker for that? It'd be extremely helpful if you included a ticker for it. It does sound like the ticker is quite literally Titan. Okay, let's just try this one more time. Maybe it's just on whatever U.S. exchange it exists on right here. Maybe talk about one of these. Maybe nah, it should have the right ticker, right? Are you talking about like some sort of bullshit crypto? If that's the case, then that would clear that up too. But please let me know. Elsa will stand by and she'll read whatever. She says no, she won't. You're talking about on CoinMarketCap. Okay, so you are talking about bullshit cryptos right now. Okay, sorry. Okay, on CoinMarketCap. Hold on. Oh, God damn it, man. Look, if you need to go to CoinMarketCap in order to get your crypto looked at, this is not a good sign, man. It's really not a good sign. But I'll look at it for you. I really don't want to do this too often in the future because like it's just I can't get my regular tools in this. But you're talking about this, I'm guessing. Yeah, there you go. Okay, it's a fucking token. Oh dear lord. Yeah, we can't even bring it up, man. Unfortunately, maybe I try CoinMarketCap. Look though, I can't promise that anything I'm gonna have to say about or anything I'm gonna look at is gonna be helpful first. Let's see, I guess I haven't even used CoinMarketCap in such this thing right here. Jesus Christ, man. We are really going to the dregs of these shitcoin. Oh, motherfucker. You brought me all the way to CoinMarketCap just to look at this piece of shit? It's a fucking dead heartbeat, sir. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Oh dear Lord. Easily the worst chart I've seen today. Easily the worst chart I've seen in a very long time. This thing used to be 40 bucks. Went all the way down. But guys, Mark Cuban is an investor. That's right. And he also dumped on your fucking face, it looks like about a couple months ago. Please, Mark, dump inside me. I love you, Mark. Hey, it's going up right now. Looks good. Look, man, I don't think that there's anything good to say about this thing. Can we get on TradingView? We can. Oh, we can. Okay. Hold on. All right, let me read where you're at. God damn, man. Yeah, this is one gigantic piece of shit, though. Wait, what's going on right here? This is a completely different chart. Hey, this is a completely different chart. What the fuck's going on here? This is not. This makes no sense. Did I change something? What's going on? Okay, why would the price over here, if we go to the yearly, be just one massive dumpola? And why, if we go to TradingView, why is it even on TradingView to begin with? That's the real question. If I'm looking at this chart, it's very good. If I'm looking at this chart, I've only apologies to say to you, sir. This actually looks very, very good right here. Short term probably back up to like 540-ish region, and long term is probably continuing with the uptrend. But I don't know which chart is the right one, to be honest with you, man. If I'm looking at this, very fucking good. If I'm looking at this, the worst chart I've ever seen today. That is not ever, but today for sure. I don't know which one's proper though. Mark Cuban lost money on this one. If it's this chart, I'd suspect that's pretty damn hard to do. But if it's this chart, then yeah, I can definitely understand that. Unfortunately, we have no way to know. And the price chart shows that it was at $40. This one has only ever been to $10 right here. Yeah, man, I don't know where to go with this one. So I probably owe you an apology if it's this chart right here. If so, I'm actually bullish on this chart. It'd be very, very good. Back up to like $5.5, $6. Long term probably does make new all-time highs. Like very long term that is. But if I'm looking at this chart, it's like this is just garbage, man. So I don't know. What's up, Crypto Danny? What's up, RK? Let's see. Okay, hold on. I see Billy again. Daily, weekly. Okay, so is it? I just don't understand if this is right. If it's this chart, then yes, very good. Weekly, I'm sure is fine too. Yeah, weekly is more or less fine here. So hopefully you're trading that chart and not the other chart. I'll put it that way, man. Hopefully that was helpful. And again, apologies, sir. Thom10 says, how soon we see 40,000 plus? Seems to be running out of gas. Thanks, Krown. Well, my crystal ball is actually in the repair shop as of recent times. So unfortunately, I have no fucking way to know that. Anyone who tells you that they know exactly when a move is happening at what exact time, I just have not seen it being able to be done consistently over a long period of time. Ever. When could it happen? I'd say anytime within late July to September would be around where you'd be looking for. But if you're asking me for a specific date, I have no fucking idea, man. I don't think anyone could possibly tell you. The best that I could do, and I don't even know how much I trust this, but it actually has been working pretty damn well, would be the time fib actually, the time fib analysis, of which maybe we can come up with some areas of interest. Whoops, let's get rid of the moon phases here. Get off my damn charts. And let's see how far do we go out, and where do we even know to measure this one? We have a pivot in mid-August. We have a pivot in mid-July. We have a pivot in early September. So perhaps somewhere in this area right here, pumps up to 40-ish region. If it is even going to do that to begin with, like, look, if Bitcoin breaks below $30,000 from this current area, then obviously that's not what's happening, But I suspect probably somewhere around here. I mean, these cycles do somewhat tend to kind of play on the same sort of time frame. So that'd be my best guess, but understand that is just an educated guess and nothing more than that. I would not be basing anything more off of that, to be honest with you. To be clear with you is what I should say. Shorty True says, holding a big bag of Link, entry at $24, exit strategy, NFA, obviously. Yes, this is certainly not financial advice. First thing from financial advice, actually. Looking at Link over here, 1880. So you are a little bit in the red and praying to Bula Jesus for a green dildo to save you, but you just sold off of last week's open. So what does that mean? It means you're fucking wrecked. No, again, it depends whatever Bitcoin does from here, right? If Bitcoin does put in this next rally from this current area, Link is going to follow as well. You maybe get out somewhere around like $25, $26. If I'm looking at Link to kind of play alongside Bitcoin, running with the assumption that Bitcoin at some point will get that rally into the $40,000 territory, I'd probably be looking for Link to put in a rally somewhere around the blue 30 simple, which is going to be rising up. Currently speaking, it's about $26, but it'll very likely be rising up somewhere around about $30 over the next month or so. And well, assuming that we just don't drop out the low from right here. So again, we're making a lot of assumptions right now. Understand that. But if we do see that move on Bitcoin, I'd probably be looking for a link somewhere in the upper 20s, low 30s in that case. It's going to be easier to watch Bitcoin though. It's going to be a lot easier to watch Bitcoin because Bitcoin's moves and Bitcoin structure is a lot more clear in my opinion in comparison to some like Link, which is it's clearly a downturn right now. Yes, but these things can kind of pump up out of nowhere. This one does look like it's pretty damn beat up, so a little bit of a relief rally. Certainly wouldn't be asking for too much, but do we come back down, grind out $17 first, then put in a rally, kind of similar to what I'm thinking on Bitcoin? Perhaps yes. I don't know. There's no way for me to know, man, and I don't want to kind of speak too much out of turn here because it'd probably do more harm than good. But yeah, you entered at $24. I mean, you really got to be asking yourself in terms of course, opportunity cost. You could always reposition if you wanted to. Understand that you're never stuck in a position. You're only stuck in your own plan if you made it be like that. Okay, Ule Vincent has come back again. He said, no, I sent a general question earlier and my spelling sucks, so I meant to read his insight. Oh, okay. To share his insight. That's been the last hour and 13 minutes of this stream. If there's something specific that you want to talk about, I'm happy to do that, man. But just like share my insight on the nature of the universe, well, take a few tabs of acid and you'll figure it out yourself. You don't need me for that. But if you're asking about Bitcoin, I just scroll back to like the first beginning, start around minute 10 and then go to minute like 40, 45, and that's going to be my general thoughts on the next like probably at least 3 months, but probably next like half year is what I'd be looking for. Spiros83, what's up, man? 1/3 of y'all have not liked the video yet. What you waiting for? That's right, guys. If you don't like the video, then probably nothing bad's gonna happen. So there you go. But yeah, man. No, you obviously can't force people to like the video, but it actually really does help out the channel. So if you do want to like the video, I would appreciate that. There will be no hair or v-neck jokes until you like the video. That's right. And Elsa's watching, and she is.
Lucky Chucks is here.
We have our nice little guard dog here who will take care of you. You don't have to like the video for me, but Lucky does deserve some likes. We have a flying dog. Holy shit, man. Morning, much love to you from the great state of Texas. Man, I'm being humped. I'm being violated by this fucking dog. Goddamn dog rapist at it again. That sounds wrong. It sounds like I'm raping the dog. No, the dog is raping me. Mina. Hey, what's up, Mr. Gwyn? How you doing, man? Hope all is well. Everything's well. I'm just underslept, man. Well, just found out I'm having a first son. Holy shit! Hey, congratulations, sir. Holy moly, man. What are you gonna name it? What are you gonna name it? What are you gonna name him? Or maybe we shouldn't assume the genders. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are nowadays, Mr. Gwyn. But well, we'll figure that out, man. It's all love, sir. Anyways, I would share the happy news. Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. There we go. We got another cave baby, baby. Love it. Also, BCRX. Man, that is actually pretty damn cool. I can't imagine what responsibility it would be to raise another human life. Man, that is something crazy. I don't think I could do it myself, but I have massive respect for the people who can do it. Elsa would not be able to do it either. She's not going to be a good mother. Well, it's just honest. I mean, if you're not gonna be a good mother, you probably shouldn't be raising kids. But Mr. Gwyn, he sounds and looks like a very well-adjusted, sophisticated person. So I'm gonna imagine that he's gonna be a great daddy. He looks sophisticated, but not in the mommy way. Anyways, all right, BCRX. What are we looking at right here? We're looking at weekly, monthly. Okay. Let's see how the monthly closed yesterday, because this is a stock, so we do want to have a clear eye on that. Okay, did close as a bit of a rejection. I remember we've been looking at this one for a while now, Mr. Gwyn, and my big sort of question on this one was, it looks good over a long period of time. I think there's no question about that. But are we ready to break out and really trend and resolve this massive consolidation that we've been going in for actually about 20 years now? I don't think so. No, based off the monthly closure, I do think you're going to play back down into range once again. Actually, it's going to take some time. Obviously, we are talking about very high-term timeframes, but it sounds like you're a very long-term minded person. With a lot of patience, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing, work its way back down, maybe even to the bottom of this consolidation over time again, maybe even back down to like $3-4. It's gonna probably take like a year or two. But do I think they're ready to break out just yet? No, that doesn't look like it's ready just yet. Kind of having to close like that at the end of the month implies that the market is still in consolidation mode for whatever this thing is or does. I think it's a biofarm. Let's see what the quarterly closed like. Quarterly is very good. Again, this is very, very good here. Like, make no mistake about it. Long term, I would certainly err on the side of bullishness, but it depends how long term you are, right? 6 month actually closed really fucking good as well. My fears is that you get some like this, and this is kind of like the top side of your resistance once again. Based off the monthly. More importantly, I would feel at the very least calling a pullback from this region. Could it be that we don't come all the way back down to the bottom side of the range? Possible, yes. Maybe it's more mature than that, and maybe we just come back down. Let's say somewhere down around about $9-10. Possible, yes, but at least for right now, I do not think that it's ready to break out from this current consolidation. I do think that it's going to spend some more time within range, more importantly, and whether we test like all the way down to the bottom side of the range or just $9-10, I'm undecided on that. I want to see it coming in, not necessarily this month, but probably coming into August, in fact, or at least another few weekly closures right here. But you've got a good base right around $10, so perhaps that's going to be the next pivot, and maybe it does break, and maybe it does try for another upside move after that. That would be a pretty damn good sign of strength if that were to happen. But for right now, that's all that we got, sir. All right, Runham 786, and congratulations again, man. Runham 786 says, can you check out NTLA on the short terms? Sure. Sure. NTLA. What does short term mean to you, though? Intellia Technologies. Hey, nice. Not bad. Not bad. Did they have like some sort of earnings report, I'm guessing? Nice big girthy green dildo closure to close out June. Very, very good. Very, very good. Big range here, of course, but can this one play back down anywhere around like 115 to 120ish region? Yes. However, long term, I do like this, but you're asking only about short-term time frames. So, or are you? Yeah, you are. You are looking at short-term time frames, but you're saying long-term holder, but family members that got in are looking to take profits. Best of the best to you, and Elsa. Hey, best of the best to you as well, sir. If you're talking about short-term time frames, I'm going to go to an hourly on this one. I would be looking for a pullback from here, probably back down to 149. Very, very likely. Could even pull back all the way down to about 130ish region. But long-term, make no mistake about it. There's nothing bearish about this chart. Very fucking good chart. I'd be looking for new all-time highs coming into the end of the year. Quarterly, very good close. It has a massive range though here. That's a massive range. 6 month, massively good close as well. So yeah, short term is down. I would agree with that. Absolutely. Long term though, I'm not bearish on this. There's no reason in my opinion to be at all whatsoever fucking bearish on this. As long as you're closing dailies above $100 at the very least. Looks very good long term. Short term though, yeah, pull back territory, and yeah, I think we already went over those areas for the short term. All right, cool. J.K. Sack says, Sophie, please, sir, please. Let's see. I'm guessing. Whoops, that's Sogi. Here we go. Sophie, are you talking about this, or maybe it's crypto? Okay, it's not a crypto. Thank God. All right. Sorry. Okay. Did put in a bit of a top right here. We do see distribution. That is on an hourly though, so probably not what you're looking for. What time frames did you say? You did not say any time frame, so I'm going to go to a daily in this case. Okay. This is wow, this is so interesting to me. This is incredibly similar to Bitcoin in 2019. Rallies from 4,000 to 14,000 bucks, spends about 3 months long, putting in a descending triangle right here, pops back up, bit of a rejection, or not a bit of rejection, like major rejection. I'd be looking for this one to come down, back down to like 15.5 over time. But would I be bearish on this one long term? No, I mean you're actually long term in just one massive range here between this area right here and these lows right here. You got an area of interest along the way, right around here. And I'd generally be looking for some downside based off this one in the short term. Now, I could change my opinion to looking for another retest of the high side range at about 24.5 bucks. If this condition is met, it's very, very simple. Just take out the last sort of swing high on the hourly at about 21 bucks. Anywhere above there, doesn't even need to close above there. And yeah, I'd be looking for this one to play back up towards the top side of the range. But until then, I'd feel quite confident about some downside for the next general move here. The weekly is kind of suggesting that I'm going to be wrong about that one, but I do want to say long term, it's an okay chart. I mean, long term it is. I mean, for the information that we do have, it is in a general uptrend, and now we're just consolidating. So I would remain like long term bullish on this one as long as it holds above the low side range, especially right around here too. But I don't know what time frame you're on because you didn't say. So that's what I can, that's hopefully the best I can do right there. Dan Dea, what's up, man? Hey, Krown, thanks for all your, hey, man, I appreciate that, but this is not advice. I'm just sharing my silly opinion on the internet. I was able to sell near the top, but re-entered way too early, 36,000 Bitcoin, 2,500 Ethereum. I don't want to go through another bear market as I'm still in big profits. Should I sell now or wait for the bull trap? Okay, so in these sorts of situations, you did include a decent amount of information right here. It sounds like you are a long-term person. It sounds like you traded this one thus far incredibly well. I would not say that you re-entered too early. I mean, if you are very long-term, does it hurt to like nibble a little bit, in the mid 30s? It's not the worst idea. I think it's, I think you're going to probably get better entries over time, but the question basically is, should I take off my positions now, or should I be hopeful for a bull trap first into like the mid $40,000 territory, anywhere around $40,000 territory? It depends. Do you have any sort of considerations for opportunity cost? Maybe it is going to be more costly for you to wait for a potential bull trap, which might not happen. It's possible that it doesn't happen. Now, I do think that it will happen into the mid $40,000 territory. But is there an opportunity cost for waiting for that trade, which could take a couple months, versus maybe getting into something else that you are interested in? I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. I don't know what else you're looking at. Why is my hair so itchy right now? Damn it, it's probably falling out some more, man. My pussy itches too, as Elsa says. Anyways, so let me just go back to this one right now. I don't want to go through another bear market as I'm still in big profits. Here's what you could also do. Take off some. It always feels good to realize some more, right? You bought in at 36,000 bucks. We're currently at around 34,000 bucks. That ain't too fucking bad, man. Especially since it sounds like you were, in big profits, probably entering somewhere right around here, and it sounds like you sold in the 50s or 60s, perhaps. that's phenomenal. I mean, you know, what's $2,000? Just a cost of doing business, in my opinion, if you're like that long term. So, you know, taking like maybe a third off, taking a half off, and then leaving the rest half for, you know, maybe that move, which, by the way, if you took off half, for example, and you entered at $36,000, you take off half right here, $2,000 loss about, and then you see a move into like $40,000. Well, you might actually make out, you might actually not just get break even for the rest of it. You actually might just, you might actually print a profit. In fact, if you do get back above $40,000, you will on that. So that's kind of the way that I would do it is I would reduce my exposure and then, you know, still play the setup here, which probably is going to take some time, and, you know, use the rest of it to kind of, you know, be in a position of power, man. Like the best thing to be in during a downside market is to always have at least 5% of your portfolio in cash. I mean, realistically, if you're in a bear market, you should have like, you know, 30 to 40% of your portfolio in cash, if anything. But in these cases, you know, if you have cash on hand and you really juicy, you know, something that is juicy after like a major drop down, and you are a long-term investor, perhaps that is going to be extremely relevant to you. So that's what's called having a position of power. And I'm not a long-term investor myself, but I know at least that much, I suppose. Okay, cool. Let me just get rid of this over here and this over here. No more coin market caps silliness. Okay, Nero Strutton says, Krown, bruh, you said Wyckoff was basically off the table, but could it be possible we're still in phase B? That would be the bullish view. Yes, that would be the bullish view. So let's see. I'll bring it up right here. Okay. All right. So, you know, a lot of people, for the people who are talking about Wyckoff, I would say right now, we are certainly not in a phase C. That I can assure you of. Could we potentially be in a phase B? Yes, I do think so. Actually. That would be your phase B right there. So we'd have a lot more history to go over. And if this were to happen, this would be massively bullish to me, obviously, because this would imply that we're around that time scale that I've been kind of speaking about with Bitcoin. You know, if it is going to turn out to be bullish, we probably just range for the next, you know, 2-3 months, of which we've only been in here for about a month and a half, maybe going on 2 months now. So if that goes on for another, you know, 2 to 3 months, then yeah, we probably do have a macro low in place. That would imply obviously that we do not really, you know, close massively on new lows. We could get a spring a little bit lower. Maybe that's your $25,000 or $27,000 target, or we can, in some cases, get it a little bit higher as well. That's definitely possible. In fact, I think it'd probably be a little bit more like this because that'd be a little bit less obvious. But for right now, again, if we're looking at this and you are looking at this with like bullish goggles, you got to be looking at the volume profile if you're going to be a Wyckofian, and this is just not the volume profile of something that is bullish or an accumulation in this case. So it would naturally take some more time. You'd expect to spend some more time in the low $30,000 territory, build up the volume profile right there, and then once that starts to, you know, supersede what we saw on over here, then at that point, you know, I'd start to say, okay, well, this is actually starting to look a lot more like accumulation, but that's naturally going to take, you know, months at this point. So I still stick with what I've been saying. Best case for bulls, best case, you know, at all whatsoever for bulls is sideways as fuck for the next, you know, probably 2 to 3 months, if that, something like that. Okay, Darren Garish, what's up, man? MTL USD, this is metal, right? MTL USD. Okay, metal US dollar, and what are we looking at right here? Daily, weekly, por favor. Shameless plug for a stat chart. All right, man. Well, you can't really plug a chart. That looks bad. You're just gonna dissuade people from looking at it. Okay, and was it daily and weekly? It was daily and weekly. Again, same thing here, man. Look, it's not fucking good, but does it get a bull trap into like $2.50 over the next month or two? Maybe yes, but this is, you know, while most good things from the past cycle were putting in new all-time highs on this current cycle, this one did not. It got around there, yes, so it's, you know, it's not the worst thing of all time, but I'm not a humongous fan of this chart. I think best case scenario to the upside, if Bitcoin, assuming that Bitcoin moves to the upside, would probably be somewhere around like $3, something like that. Long term, does this thing come back down to like 65 to 75 cent long term? Possible, certainly possible, depending upon what Bitcoin does. Yeah, looking at the daily right here, I'd probably look for the next move to come to the upside though. I mean, this isn't bad, short term at least. You know, could very easily pop back up to, you know, 275, 280-ish region, but anything around $3 I think is kind of like a gift from the trading gods right now. Again, very likely take some time. Very likely take some time though. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking at right there. What about a monthly? Maybe just looked at that. Okay, that's not too helpful. Maybe like a bi-monthly is going to be a little more helpful. Yeah, bi-monthly not so great. Yeah, not so great right there. Best case scenario range is between about $3 and 1.5. Worst case scenario comes back down to like 65, 75 cents region. All right, Zishan Malik says, hey, Krown, hope you're doing well. I am doing all right, just a bit underslept, sir. I wanted to ask, when to use log scale chart versus linear chart, especially in traditional markets. In traditional markets, you really shouldn't be using log scale charts, to be honest with you. You should be using linear charts. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to, have their own definitions for this. I'll just share mine, and realistically, the real answer is that you should use whichever one makes more sense with your current strategy. But let's say we're on a very low term time frame, like an hourly. There's really not going to be a whole hell of a lot of difference between log and linear. Personally, if given the choice, I will go for linear. The problem is when you're doing very long-term analysis on an asset like Bitcoin that moves in, not percentage points, but X's, literally like multiplies rather than just goes up by percentage points. You can see that this is just unhelpful, It doesn't really mean all that much. So we need to put it on log scale in order to kind of make some sense of it. For stocks in general, I pretty much never go to a log scale just because they're going to play in like more percentage moves anyways. But, if you're looking at like an Amazon, for example, or a Facebook, Microsoft, those sorts of ones, then yeah, you'll need to go to log scale if you want to do like, multi-decade analysis, for example. But on the short-term timeframes, like let's say, you're on anything less than a daily, it's really not going to make a whole hell of a lot of difference. Like if I'm on a 15-minute, can you tell the difference between log and linear? Barely, just barely. And if I am going to be on short-term timeframes, linear is going to be better. Bless you, sir. It's going to be more accurate, is what I should say. Okay, cool. But the higher term time frame that you go in the more long-term history that you go off of, log starts to make a little more sense, I suppose. So yeah. All right. Runham says, thanks, Krown. NTLA are one of the CRISPR. Oh, the CRISPR, like the gene editing stocks. Very interesting, man. And cured a fatal disease over the weekend. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's super cool. That's really awesome, man. Glad to see good stocks getting rewarded right there. You can also check out Tesla on weekly, monthly. Sure. TSLA. Let's see what we got going on right here in NASDAQ. And you're looking, 50 minutes, not necessarily what you're looking at. You're looking at weekly, monthly. All right, there we go. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, we need logs for this one. You can see that it completely changes the picture. It is putting a nice base right here. It does look like it's more or less okay, consolidated at a very high level, but I don't think it's mature within this consolidation. I don't know why I drew this before. I usually don't like diagonals and I don't really care for them. Maybe I was just trying to prove a point or something like that. But you're basically looking at something like this between, let's say, 735 and about 570 to the downside. I don't think it's ready to break out either which way anytime soon. Looks very immature on the weekly. Maybe the monthly is going to have something more interesting here. Yeah, monthly still says, probably another month or so at the very least of consolidating within this region, but it does have a bullish bias here, yes. I mean, it is quite literally an uptrend, of course, but I want to see a closure or at least a higher high above this wick high right here. But on a closing basis, weekly above 740, then yeah, I'd be looking for new all-time highs. This does look like it's getting reaccumulated. This is more or less good right here, especially as long as it holds a 570 low, but it's going to take some time, in my opinion, to go sideways here. Maybe like later this month, July, it will get a resolution. Right now we're seeing a bit of a bullish reset on weekly TSI. So I'd go with long-term bullishness here, yes, but short-term sideways. And probably a little bit of down short-term, actually, maybe back down to 650, 630-ish region. Certainly not out of the question right there. Okay, Robert Arno Vici says, are you from the future? I am from the future. I live in Eastern or Northern Europe. And if you live in USA, Canada, or Mexico, well, you are in the past, sir. You're still in June, man. Or actually, you're probably not in June, but whatever. We will just ignore that for now. Anyways, the profit-taking zones for XEC USD was spot on. Nice, man. Glad to hear. More upside to 10 cents soon. Let's check it out. Is there going to be a baby Krown soon? Sir, I'm snipped, so probably not. Probably not very likely. Anyways, okay, so what time frame were we looking at on this one? Is this one going to try for 10 cents? I think it's going to try somewhere around like 993, 94 region. Let's see what the daily looks like. Yeah, daily could do it. Actually, it wouldn't be 10 cents. It'd be more like 10.5 to 11 cents. This is good here. I like this one, man. I think that it does very likely continue on from where we're at. This does seem to be, yeah, it is a cryptocurrency, so it is trading 24 hours. So yeah, fair enough. It's actually breaking out right now. It looks like 9 spot, or let's just call it 9.25 cent as would be the next sort of medium term target. Then very likely daily plays up to those levels, but good. Actually, one of the better cryptocurrencies we've seen today. Hey, very good on the monthly right here. Very good buyback. That's what you probably would have been hoping for for on Bitcoin for the month of June, which we did not get. This one looks like it's maybe even macro still bullish here. It's actually pretty damn good. I like it still. Not bad indeed. Anyways, we got rugged. Fuck. Anyways, all right, let me get on the comments over here. I'm probably going to end this stream a little bit earlier today just because I think I need a nap or something. Let me pull this up right here and let's see what else we got. What the hell is going on right here? Okay, sweet. Are you boys Wyckoffing in my camper again? That's right, man. I Wyckoff before bed. I Wyckoff in the morning. I Wyckoff just in the lunchtime as well. 3 times is not rookie number, sir. Hey, appreciate that, Jeff. All good, man. All good. Let me see if there's any interesting comments going on right here. Allergic to short nose hair filters. Hey, how dare you make fun of me for that? Maria is shilling. Yeah, man. There's always the shillers in the comments, of course. Let's see. I think I got one right here. This one's NEPA. Hero. Wait, sir, I'm trying to read this, bitch. Just kidding. You're lovely. JC Gallardo says, Krown, hello. So I've been using your app for a while now, and with the update, the market movers tab got a bit messy. Before everything was fine, but now when Binance D buys, markets go down. Yeah, when Binance buys, market goes down. Yes, that is right. they are selling, of course. Hey, I'm being abused again. This is ridiculous. This looks really good. I'm enjoying this. This is consensual. Nepa Inu. Yeah, there you go. Did you talk about PO multiple? No, I haven't. I haven't been looking at it for a long time. I am half in, half out till market drops. Yeah, I mean that's fair enough as well. I mean, I don't think right now is the best time to be like fully invested. You know, there is a good chance that over the next few months Bitcoin does go lower. So if you do want to invest lower, you can definitely do that. I'm getting doggy styled right now, says Nimbo. That's true, man. Sir, quant USD, please, 4-hour daily. All right, we'll do quant, and I think we'll start to wrap this one up very, very soon here after we get to Spiros. That dog is wanky off, yeah. All right, quant, what are we looking at? Daily still looks good, I suppose, over a long period of time, but does this one come back down to 63 in some odd change first before trying for another move to the upside? It looks like yes. Long term, I like it, man. There's nothing bearish about this chart. Long term, you have a very natural sort of risk management point just below last week's low, or any sort of a weekly closure below about $53.5. Looks pretty damn good here, though. Monthly had a very good closure. I'm still bullish on this one long term. Does it come back down to like mid to low 50s first? I don't have a strong opinion on that. My strong opinion is on long-term continuation here. This is one of the better charts that we've seen today for certain. Short term, does it come back down? I don't feel too confident on the short-term timeframes. I think a healthy amount of I don't know is the proper response on the short-term timeframes. The weekly, monthly are the ones that I really like on this one, and you got some very obvious risk management points below those major pivots. Okay, Spiros, last one today. He's also a boomer and very hairy. It's true. It's very true. I'm discussing actually. Mr. K, do you think that we can have Wyckoff accumulation if literally everyone and their mother talks about it? Isn't it too obvious? Do I think that we can have Wyckoff? The real question is, do I think that we can have accumulation? But does it have to come in the Wyckoff variety? Does it have to come like 1-to-1 with a Wyckoff schematic? No, absolutely not. And again, I don't really think that this is as of right now, this is not at all accumulation. This is not what accumulation looks like, man. You could have made that argument last week in late June, but not now. No. Again, you'd really want to see a different volume profile than this. You really want to see heavy volume on the bottom side for this, and we can actually even pull this all the way out over here. A little bit of a different picture, yes, but I really want to be focusing on this right here, and that is within the context of the volume profile and the accumulation distribution indicator. Well, you can see that we got dumped on, so I'd say that's a little bit less likely. Okay, can you do doggy coin for the dog, please? We can, yeah. I didn't really say anything too specific about it earlier, but this looks like another lower high in the making right here. It does not look good. I'd be bearish on this one, especially as long as you're below this last pivot 75. It's 20. Oh my God, man, I really am fucked up today. 27.5 cent. As long as you're below there, I'm just looking for this one to kind of grind it out and roll on over again. Oh, it's the old doggy trick. Roll over, boy, or roll over. You know, still the thing is that the weekly's like okay. I mean, all things considered, this one actually has a better weekly chart than most cryptocurrencies. So, you know, what do you make of that? I don't know. Monthly is more on the downside. What about bi-monthly? Yeah, same thing here too. What about the quarterly? quarterly is not bearish. Goddamn, but it could very easily come back down to single digits and still remain with like the long term, I suppose, upturn right there. All right, cool. I think it is time for me to wrap this one up. We'll do a quick little reanalysis on Bitcoin. Short-term timeframes, you got a very obvious little formation going on right here. Let me get rid of the volume profile. Technically speaking, you do have a bit of an inverted, you do have a regular head and shoulders right here with any sort of a closure below about 34,100-ish region that will complete the breakdown of the neckline and initiate a target. Let's see, I'm going to guess it's somewhere around about 32,000 bucks. Actually, it's lower than my next targeted region, which would be 32.5 right here. So very likely a bounce along the way, somewhere around like mid 32s, maybe upper 32s. Technically speaking, the measure move on this one would be pointed back down towards about 31,700-ish region. I do not think that Bitcoin is ready to break to new lows just yet. And while that is potential, that is not the main disposition I would be having until we actually officially close below there on, at the very least, an hourly. I'd prefer like a 2 hour in this case too. By the same token, I do see a lot of the time that head and shoulders actually becomes a continuation formation as well. And it typically comes with like a maybe even a slight break below the neckline, reclaims it on the next, dildo or two, and then pops back up. Your confirmation on that move, which in my opinion is actually a lot easier of a one to play, is just above where your right shoulder would be. In this case, that would be your 150 tick right here, or a closing high above 35,000 bucks. And technically speaking, then I would be targeting a move all the way up towards about 38,000 bucks, and perhaps that does initiate the next sort of bull trappy-ish movement into the mid $40,000 territory. I won't go through all of the high term time frame analysis right now that we did in the beginning of the stream, but I would reference that for the next sort of potential trappy-ish move if things do get started from here, which I think is maybe a little bit less likely right now. And realistically, I think this market's going to take another 2 to 3 months to really resolve itself. We're going to look for like a major macro move, whether you're both bullish or bearish. If I'm giving my general opinion, I think things kind of bake a little bit more sideways right here, probably put in a bull trap somewhere in like mid $40,000 territory. Then at very best, just come back down and grind out the 30,000s once again. At very worst, breaks it and completes the full on move all the way down, maybe around 19-20,000 bucks. Anyways, with that said, it's going to be a very interesting environment going on for now. Doggy's going to say goodbye, and I will say goodbye as well. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. I'm going to go get some goddamn sleep and hopefully see you soon. Take care.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR, pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it,